People are saying that we predicted the Yamato cover page story, and I forgot all about this, man. I forgot we talked about this at the start of the last podcast. We're like, hey, you know what? We should really get Yamato next week, and then here we are with Yamato. To be fair though, we don't deserve that many flowers because how hard is it to predict that Oda's gonna draw his favorite character in the entire series, Yamato, yet again? I mean, it's easy money, man. Easy street cred.
Yeah, I think Kosuna said he went back during your stream and he got the quote. He said, I said like, yo, how funny would it be if Oda puts Yamato back on the cover story or like Wano back or something like that. And then we started talking about it, which this was it was like a fever dream low key. I was just like, what? And I thought we were like genuinely we were back and doing like an extension part 2 or something. But then I realized like, oh wait, no, Ace is not obviously alive. And then I started thinking about the alternate, like, like the Kinemon scene at the rooftop where like Oda or the anime like just flickered and then they were all dead instead of like in the
Yeah.
flowery field. That's why I imagined this scene like Tama and Yamato, they're dancing around and Ace just gets replaced with a tombstone. That'd be so crazy. Which kind of would make sense for them to do because Wano was how Tama found out that Ace died. And so like at the end of Wano, they celebrated everyone who was a part of like Kaido's downfall. And in a ways, Ace kind of tried. He would have not won. I mean, apparently he had Conqueror's hockey that could counter Yamato by the time he came here, which hey, you could have fooled me, Oda, but
Yeah, Ace was like Yamato's equal, Yamato's rival. So maybe Ace would have done pretty decently against Kaido, man.
he would have done better than Zoro.
It's like weird
Yeah,
to imagine that, but I mean, it's true. It's true.
Alabasta Ace was kind of cracked. I still remember when he got revealed and he did that flip over the ships, punched through like 9 of them. Though he can do that without Conqueror's hockey, I like he did show up very cool. It's just like the problem where the all of this lies is the Blackbeard part, right? Where Blackbeard apparently soloed him.
I mean, even the
And
Akainu part. Like, I'm an Akainu fan, but damn, dude, really? One shot? You couldn't like move? I get that he was protecting Luffy, but it's like one of those things where you see somebody like, oh, you push him out of the way of a car, but it's like, you can like jump with them, right? Like, you don't have to like stay stagnant. I don't know.
yeah,
So you could have
yeah,
taken
he didn't.
Luffy and just.
Maybe we don't know if he has observation hockey though.
Yeah. Oh, true, true, true. Confirmed conquerors, crazy armament. But let me tell you, that observation, does he have it? That'd be so
Yeah, because
foul.
like that's seemingly how a Logia like Katakuri becomes Logia like through observation hockey, but like Kuzan, he's like dodging hockey straight through him, and it's like seemingly through observing it and then dodging preemptively. So I would imagine Ace didn't sense a kind or Akainu used. This is. How about we do this? How about we stop downscaling Ace and we upscale Akainu? Right? We could say
Oh,
Akainu had
true.
observation canceling hockey, and so Ace
You're
couldn't
so right.
perceive the fist. Like we've come to a point now where we should just add on instead of take away. Right? Right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the community are gonna love that take. Unironically, yeah. I mean, this might actually be the best like Ace cope out there. It's not that Ace is weak. No, no, no. Akainu is just strong. He canceled
Yeah.
Ace's observation hockey.
Yeah, yeah. And lend itself more to Blackbeard too. I mean, by the time we get Blackbeard on screen fighting, he's gonna have all the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? Why not just like give him the benefit of the doubt that he had some of those bells and some of those whistles instead of none of them, which I get it, the story kind of painted that he didn't have any of them, but like I'm sure on screen Odo's fine with blowing some of Blackbeard's whistles. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
Um, the
Oh
Whitebeard
man.
fight is the only thing that's kind of like Yeah, sure. He got choked out and then he had his crew shoot Whitebeard down, you know. But that was just for the cinematic, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was set
Blackbeard is
up.
actually screaming, "Guys, help me! I can't show my off-screen abilities on screen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't show them my
No,
tricks."
this is being live streamed, guys. Like,
Yeah. What if that's like a stipulation? Like the minute we see Blackbeard on screen, like use his special abilities, is when he loses all of his off-screening potential, and he knows it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
It's
very meta.
if he's seen. Anytime you close your eyes, Blackbeard's undefeatable. But when you open your eyes, Blackbeard's just a mortal dude,
Which
just a big guy.
is really deep because dreams and nightmares are a big thing in One Piece.
Yeah, and they happen
It's
when
like you're waking up from a nightmare, but
your
you're
eyes are
daydreaming
closed,
now
yeah.
with your eyes
Yeah.
open.
And that, you know, White Blackbeard never sleeps. But what about his opponents? I think that sounds like a good
Oh,
line in a video.
Blackbeard puts them to sleep because he kills them.
Oh,
Oh, wait. He's hunting devil fruits, but in reality, he's hunting dreams because he doesn't
yeah.
dream himself because he doesn't sleep.
Are you making fun of me?
No. I'm not making
That's
fun
a
of you.
direct line out of the video. That's like,
Wait, is it really?
yeah, that's straight up. Like, I have the exact dramatic.
dead ass?
Like, guys, yeah, straight up. It's funny. Someone referenced that video today or on stream yesterday. But yes,
That's
straight up, it's
hilarious,
like,
man.
guys, the man who never sleeps dreams the most because all he does is chase dreams. Just it's literally what you said.
Oh my
Just
god.
a little bit more.
Wow, no, that was like natural, dude. I think it's just because
Yeah.
we talk so much, it just, it rolled off the tongue.
You know,
Like
that's
soon I'm
why
just
I
gonna like
can't do-
develop an Indian accent.
That's why I can't do face cam recording. It's because I'm out there moving the way you were doing. You're like, but guys.
Yeah, moving like the Vietnamese out here, huh?
Oh my god. What did we have against the Vietnamese this weekend?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, the reason why is because me and the wife are watching Better Call Saul. It's her first time watching it. It's like my third or second time. And
He's Vietnamese?
no. So Saul starts off as like a really downtrodden lawyer, and
Uh-huh.
he doesn't have like a real office. His office is
Yeah.
actually just a utility room in a Vietnamese nail salon.
Oh.
So I think that's why I've been not beefing with the Vietnamese, but they've been like on the forefront of my mind.
Is this the first time watching Better Call Saul?
No, I've watched it twice. It's my wife's first time
Okay.
though.
I haven't watched it, but it's on my list because I heard it's so good. So
It's good, yeah. I
Yeah.
really enjoy the
Damn.
plot.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
speaking of cover requests, it's funny because you don't partake in the spoiler community, but usually when there's a cover request, the leakers are like, oh yeah, like this is the cover request, this is what we have, here's Roger, we got Usopp, Robin, blah blah blah. Nobody gave a fuck about Yamato, dude. Nobody talked about this at all. Actually, like when I first read the chapter, it was like an actual live reaction. I was like, whoa, like what is this? I was taken by surprise. Because I read spoilers for every single series like this and Kagurabachi and pretty much anything else.
yeah.
So I'm never taken by surprise. But here I was like, whoa, what is Yamato and Ace doing?
That's
funny, man.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, because on stream, you read the full spoilers, and it was just 95% the last panel, and which makes sense. But that's so funny that it was so much bandwidth for the spoiler output that they just was like, yeah, we're cutting the cover story from the spoiler output because yeah, who cares? And it's just so funny because like when I'm looking at this. Yeah, we predicted it. We talked about it. Wow, it's a crazy thing. And even on my reaction, I was like, yeah, there's not much else I can say about this, guys. There's nothing
Nothing
really
to
interesting.
extrapolate, no theories. It's just, oh, here's pigs. Mountain boar probably should have died. Cool. I don't like seeing Tama. Dope.
I
Moving
did
on.
say these are I was like, oh man, is this like is this a reveal that Tama is actually Ace and Yamato's kid? And I was like, oh wait, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't. And I was like, oh, these are the parents she actually wanted instead of Sukiyaki. And then it was that was the perfect Sukiyaki mention. And I was like, good, we got the quota out. But other than that, there's not really,
No,
yeah, yeah.
nothing at all. I mean, it made me crave bacon, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, because the boars? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just like, why are they striped? If they're like the kids, like shouldn't they also just be pure white, like the big mountain god, whatever? Like who's is the mountain god a girl or a boy?
I don't know, but we know
Maybe
the mountain god has like an actual son, and they don't
that's
look
all
like
white though.
this. Yeah, it's all white and
Yeah.
furry. So like, I'm assuming these boar piglets are just adopted kids or like a foster situation.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you're right. They'd have to be. And
Yeah.
you know what's also probably the case because we know Tama isn't good with pets on Fripp. She fed all of these boars her
Oh,
dango.
you're right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when Tama gets along with an animal, it's not like, oh, it's a cute little girl with animals, blah blah blah. It's like Snow White. No, this is a girl in slavery. This is a girl enslaving creatures against their will. Like, guys, do not
We're
do not let her
so
fool you. Tama might be
yeah.
like, honestly, you can tell she's a Kurozumi. We didn't need the whole like SBS Vivid card reveal. No, we know she's Kurozumi, man. It's running through her
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah, like you guys, everyone probably thinks like, oh, she's leading them because she's like, they're her pets. No, bro, she's leading them to her death. Look, she's holding a death flag. They're going to be eaten. Like,
The mountain boar is blocking it, but there's actually a slaughterhouse right behind him.
yeah, yeah. There's a brisket house. There's a
Yeah,
barbecue.
there's a butcher like right beside him too, licking his lips with a cleaver in his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
these
like
piglets are
look at Ace.
done.
Ace is not looking at that piglet like, oh wow, this is a cute. It's looking at it like it's a hot dog, like a burger. Like
Yeah, he's already thinking about what he's gonna do tomorrow. Like, oh, yo, I can't wait till I can eat this little bastard.
Yamato's straight up having appetizers too. She's like
Yeah,
having an onigiri.
yeah. She's devouring the amuse bouche as we speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is it's just yeah, only you could only get this take here, guys. The spoilers skipped it, but leave it to us to give you the real layout of what's happening on this cover story. Ace, and the thing is, I would not you wouldn't have to work hard to convince me that Oda would write something like this of like food related stuff. Like half of his Oda notes are I just had like horse sashimi and I just had like this food and that food and this food. Like Oda was probably just hungry when he was
Oda's always
drawing
hungry,
this.
dude.
Yeah, yeah, he is. I mean, he fed a whole legion of people with this chapter. That's for sure. And so, it said Ace, Otama, Yamato, Tama, whatever, taking boar piglets on a field trip to the wetlands. They didn't say where the field trip was to, you know what I mean? But that's kind of the plot for a lot of, shows. Like, I'm pretty sure they say
Ooh.
that in Charlotte Web too. Like,
Wait. The reason why Oda draws so much food in One Piece and food related things, it's because he has the gout. He's like Blackbeard, a man that cannot dream, chasing dreams.
oh
Oda,
my
a
God.
man that has gout. So what does he do? He draws people eating instead.
Damn. Damn.
Fuck.
Yeah. He wishes he could lead a flock of piglets to their untimely
Yeah.
cheeseburger.
If Oda could cure his gout by doing that, do you think you'd do it?
I think so. I feel like yeah,
I feel like most people would.
yeah. If you could cure yourself, and it's just a few piglets. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just 11. Oh,
Yeah, just
11
11.
piglets. And there were 11 eyes on the Hagoromo scarf. I just want to point that out there. Oh no, there's 12. Sorry, I forgot Ace was holding on. Nope, it's all different now. There was another
Everything's
eye
changing.
on- Yeah.
Well, getting on to the chapter now, we got Imu Sama. Great Imu. Did I hear you correctly? You want to go to Elbaf for yourself? It's crazy that the Gorosei came to that conclusion right away. you know, if we had One Piece theorists and just, you know, people as members of the
Whoa.
Gorse, they'd be like, oh, surely you don't intend to go to Laughtale. Surely you don't intend to go to the East Blue, Baratier.
Let's not slander theorists.
I'm sorry.
That take. With that take. That was a that
Imu,
was
you're planning on going to Fishman Island? I mean, I'm sorry. I feel so mean, like, making fun of theories, because our theories are bad, right? You know, we have bad theories all the time. It's just that the easy answer was right there, though, guys. You know, the people who said, oh, he's going to this or that, they couldn't even see Elbaf for the most part. The Gorse are coming up with this theory before all of us.
I said this to you before. I think it was before we recorded, and it was in between us contemplating this scenario. And I said to you, I said, hey, no offense to you guys if you were on this side of it too. If you remember when we were in Lego, like just before Lego Elbaf, there was a bunch of people who came into streams and videos saying, hey guys, we're not on Elbaf and we're in some phantom dimension. Or we were in a what was that, a simulation.
A simulation. The simulation theories were fucking killing me, dude. I cannot understate how much I did not like the simulation theories, because that's the thing. When me and Par have wacky answers, which we'll have a lot, you know, here in this video because Imu's revealed, it's like, oh, it's because it's not like a simple, like, straightforward thing. Or if there is a simple, straightforward answer, we talk about that too. That's one of the options we consider. But the thing is that the simulation theory, that's like, you have to take multiple steps to get there. Same with Imu going somewhere else other than Elbaf.
Yeah. And, like, to put down on a vote, that I would put money that the crossover between people who said the simulation and a phantom room island thing and the people who said Imu's not going back to Elbaf is probably a huge, if not like mimicked amount of people. It felt like a lot of people were on that realm of, like, I get the Legoland, like, once we got a little bit more, but, like, you know, I think the most I would move my bar to the lowness of it, because I was also in agreement of, like, there's a possibility that they're in Warland, but maybe they're not on Elbaf and they're, like, on another island associated with Warland, because there's Warland, then there's Elbaf. But then there was people that were just like, no, guys. Luffy's missing his axe, like, this thing is not drawn right. And me and Sai were like, that's probably just an error. Like, surely that'll just get edited in the volume, which is hilarious now because had the whole thing of where's Luffy's outfit in Gear 5, and then he goes back and he's back in his Elbaf outfit. And it's like, if those people didn't have that moment of, like, contemplation about what Elbaf and, like, a new scenery does to Oda and his editing team, they would think that Gear 5 Luffy was in his simulation. They're like, where's his Elbaf outfit?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the thing. There's 15 plus people that touch One Piece and draw panels. If you're telling me that, like, they don't talk to each other and they just draw things wrong or they don't communicate well, I'd believe you. And the thing is, there's a proven history, volume to volume to volume to volume to volume to volume, 100 of them, mistakes at the wazoo. Mistakes happen. It's human error.
Like, think back at Egghead, and I think I might be speaking out of my ass, but I think that a lot of them also happen when we change sceneries. And one of the major ones that I still remember is in Egghead when Atlas had the wrong number on them, and that was like, what? This is Vegapunk. Like, that's a huge one.
And people thought that Atlas was the traitor because they had the wrong number on. And it's like, yeah, like, now, like, because of the mistakes, it's, like, devolving into crazy theories, kind of like the simulation theory. It's like, this happens when we hit a new arc. Like, this is, you know, John's first time drawing on Egghead. John is tasked with, you know, creating Atlas or making Atlas and stand out in this panel. But also, John wasn't there in the meeting room when Oda said that Atlas is number 6. So it's like, yeah, like,
John-san.
It happens, man. It happens. Human error is a big thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I think human error is fine. It's just, you know, own up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which One Piece does, because they correct it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this one counts, but the Gunko one still gets me too. How we cut off her name, but I don't know how that one falls through the way it did. But there's
Yeah,
another version of that
it's just a
where like
retcon.
yeah, essentially, and it affects it. Like the Alice one, I get the traitor part, but then once it got established that the number was incorrect, then it's like you have to just walk away from it entirely.
Yeah, drop it like
Um,
it's hot.
yeah. And the Gunko one is in a similar vein where you just kind of have to accept it that like the way Oda wrote the story was that the entire time Man Mayor, like when we got God Valley, it's like we know that person now, and Gunko is a part of that. But yeah, it's pretty nice to see that at least the Gorosei
Put the pieces
knew what
together.
yeah, knew what was happening. Imagine. Oh my God. Could you? I would shoot myself if I open up the chapter and the first thing's like, "Where are you going?"
Emu, where are you leaving to? Surely not Elpath, right? But Emu, you said that a ruler doesn't dirty their hands. I was listening. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking funny, dude.
Oh God, dude, because they said other things later on that we joked about. Is it soon enough? Oh yeah, it is. It's just like should we send the admirals? I remember when we were saying like in the situation where Emu's not going to Elba, what are they gonna do? Send the admirals? And we were like, bah, that's so dumb. Only the Gorosei would. And then it's like, what are we gonna do? Send the Gorosei again? And then we were laughing at that. And it's like, no, has to go there. But then Otis still gave that realm of it where the Gorosei offered the admirals, and it's like the admirals are less silly than the Gorosei in hindsight because it like you could at least get like a sensible fight out of it. Whereas with the Gorosei, it's like I don't know. I can't imagine the same fight going down against the Kainu and Fujitora and the rest with Luffy and the gang versus the Gorosei who are just giant monsters that apparently Saturn can be pestered off by the weak trio, which and weak trio and a few others, Chopper included now. And now that Chopper can just slap, that's something we didn't really talk much about, but I wonder if Chopper like extends like his whatever he's doing extends to the Gorosei, extends to Emu. I know some people are saying that chat's like, wait, can Chopper just slap Emu silly? Like, is that what's happening? And I don't know. I don't know. But if that's the case, then Chopper is the new target, like 100%. So I don't know what to do about that one, but we'll get there when we
Yeah.
get there.
So what we see is that Garling actually walks in and he says, Gorosei, there's no time for idleness. How long could the Holy Land possibly be defended under these conditions? Shamrock's return seems to have helped quell matters, but we were arrogant to think we could easily stop the lower realm dwellers from using starvation tactics against us. What good are leaders who can't even keep their own soldiers fed? Our top priority should be rallying the military might needed to assert global dominance. And then he says, even former Navy HQ, and we don't see what he was going to say. Something happened at Marineford, or Old Marineford, we should say. What do you think happened? Are they rallying troops there? Was it destroyed, attacked? Are they turning coat? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I actually didn't catch that. And it's interesting because the way it cuts off, even the former Navy HQ, like they could be talking about a person too. But yeah, they're probably talking about the place and something happening there. So that sounds like the Revs took over. And that because if you were to think about prominent places where supplies are being shipped to the Holy Land from, the closest place is the old HQ, which is on the side of Paradise. So, you know, I would imagine that just sounds like the Revs took it over and at some to a certain extent, and we're giving the faulty supplies, I guess, or what would it be called? The spoiled supplies, the explosive supplies, right? Because
Something
that's
like
what's
that.
happening,
Yeah, they've been
right?
like
The
blowing it
some
up.
of the food, yeah. Um, Yeah, and it's nice to see. Like the one thing with the Holy Knights in general was that they would never learn, but it seems like Garling has taken a different stance. I don't know. Like I feel like pre God Valley Garling is different, and maybe ever since Roxy's like, you know what? We shouldn't underestimate the lower dwellers. They got, and then in his mind, when he's talking about lower dwellers, he's thinking about Harold. He's thinking about Rox. He's like, those guys cracked, and that's good. I like that. I like to, because when they like underestimate the lower dwellers, it's like slapping Rox and Harold in the face when we know damn well Imu said Harold was the strongest of them. So it's like, you can't just continuously ignore them when they have that level of in or potential, and we're seeing it so often that they actually do have to act. So many people wonder, it's like, why didn't they do more? Marineford and Pryor and so many other events. Why aren't the Gorsei stepping out and doing more? I'm sure we'll get those answers, but this is a situation where it's like, yeah, no, they needed to pull out the stops, and Shamrock, I guess, was the stop here. I just wonder if it was just Shamrock, or was it Shamrock plus the other Holy Knights? You know what I mean? Like, what are the other Holy Knights doing?
Yeah. Like maybe they're on food missions, or maybe they were there before Shamrock and, they were just like at a standstill and Shamrock really shifted the tides of battle. It's really hard to tell. Like, were you getting stuff, but we're not getting stuff at the same time? Like, Oda is
Yeah.
very much so vague posting right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we don't know the context of Shamrock. Oh, the most that we got is like when the Holy Land's like on fire or whatever, it was referring to seemingly that food that was being given exploding, not like an active, constant like war and battle happening at Marijois. It was the food that was being shipped up, exploding, sending it on fire. Shamrock, we need everything's like going up in flames, but it was the battle was really on the lower sea. And the question is, how much was Shamrock like doing in terms of swaying the tides of that battle? Like, were the Holy Knights like in each place? Was there like two Holy Knights at the former Navy HQ, and like, I don't know, Karasu and Sabo, were they holding it off against Holy Knights? Because that would be insane if like we cut back, we get a flashback, we get news articles, Holy Knights, or I don't even know, because would the coverage even cover the Holy Knights? I doubt it. No, they wouldn't even cover this. So I don't know how we'd get this information, but maybe it's like Big News Morgans goes like, he wants to post it, he tells us, but it's not something he's allowed to post, otherwise he gets like completely cut. I would imagine there's a huge gag order over the Holy Knights. He can't just, it's something that he has to be aware of, but it's something that he can't like publish about, I'm sure. And it's probably news to like Vivi. Maybe you know how weird it would be if Vivi knew about them? I feel like that'd be weird.
It's tough. I feel like it would be weird, but it also wouldn't be weird because she's nobility.
Yeah.
Like, maybe because of her education, she has like special knowledge, or maybe it's just actually common knowledge, and because we're the Straw Hats, we just don't get that.
Yeah, that perspective is it's almost as jarring as hockey. You know how like, oh, we have the perspective of Luffy, so we couldn't see the hockey of Marineford. And it was jarring to like, oh, there was hockey there's hockey
There's
here.
hockey
We just couldn't see
everywhere.
the coding. And like the nuance of the Holy Knights in particular, and the Gorsei, when we got the Navy to be like, oh yeah, their pictures are posted up like on the walls or whatever. It's like, wait, what? You know about these guys? We did not know is that common knowledge. And it's like the Holy Knights are the next frontier of that, how well known they are, how active they are. Like, is it like the royal family knows about it, or is it like CP0 a little bit, where they're like rumors around the world? But it's kind of like, I think it was Jinbei who said it was like, whenever they are active or whenever you see them, the world starts shaking or whatever. And I think that was something, I forget where we found or where we heard about. No, maybe it was like Law, I forget. I think it was Dressrosa, where it was just like, oh, like, yeah, once you see CP0, that means the world is gonna start shaking or something like that. And now we know how far down the rung CP0 is in comparison.
Yeah, and that was like
So
before Rob Lucci was a part of CP0 and he's like their best agent. It's like, wait, you're telling me
yeah.
Joseph and Guernica were shaking the world with their presence? I refuse to believe it,
Yeah.
man. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were just talking about like, oh, the news headlines. Like every time they show up, there's news around it. But like now, I wouldn't be surprised because like we've talked or I've talked about this where I'm like CP0 being directly underneath like Holy Knights, like it would be kind of sick. But at this point, I wouldn't mind it if there were like Holy Knight Templars. Like each Holy Knight had a command of like Templars and Paladins that just like could mass put up a shield,
That'd
you
be a good
know?
way to like expand the final war. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody's turning on the WG, like we need more people to bolster their forces. Here you go. Here's just like 5 people per god knight.
Or more. I kind of like especially cuz it's magic. They got to be training people, right? Like it can't just be like magic circles and Herald, hey, draw a circle and like it's just done at teleporting. Like I'm sure there's more. There's a whole book, right? People are telling me like Par, it's a grimoire. Like these spells that we saw, they're just level 1 spells. Like wait until level 10 and I'm like, okay. All right, sure, whatever, fine. And you know, it is what it is, but I would love it if not love it, but depending on how Oda does it, if at we find at the Shangara that there's just like legions or schools, there's a magic high school of you know, magicians on training. That'd be kind of
It'd
sick.
be
I'm
fire,
not gonna
dude.
lie.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you could do a
yeah,
spin-off.
think of it like the witch cult from ReZero. Like, yeah, you have like your Sin Archbishops,
Mm,
and then you have like the factions underneath them. And then like when the Sin Archbishop dies, like maybe this next person gets promoted. It's like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
yeah, that would be a
Also,
cool spin-off.
one thing too, I do agree with you. I feel like there might have not been like a physical, like direct person attacking the Holy Land. It could just be the food. We don't know yet. I think it would be more
Mhm.
badass if somebody did like was, you know, if somebody was actually up here attacking though, and then, you know, Shamrock showed up and maybe he even pulls like the Shanks card where he's like, I'm here to stop the war. I'm here to stop
Mhm.
the fighting. And then the guy, whether it's Dragon, Blackbeard, Shanks, or somebody, they're like, okay, we're going back downstairs. See you later.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
explosions, we did get inclinations that, you know, obviously, you know, there's explosives in the food, but it looked like most of those were just exploding on the gondolas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it would make sense if, you know, some of them made it all the way up and then they exploded too. So I get what you're coming from. That makes sense.
Yeah. And also, those gondolas, like it's crazy that they only had like one or two. Like they
Makes
should have
no
way
sense,
more.
mind you. Like, why not have more? Why not have a more efficient method of just bringing food up? Like,
Yeah.
I know it sounds insane, but like, with how long they've been up on the bread line, maybe put stairs. You know, like, hey, in case the gondolas fail, like here's some stairs or something. Which that'd be
Yeah.
hell for your legs, but I mean, this is the world of One Piece.
No one would be mad at like alternative methods. And they also have like legions of slaves running like the escalators, or I forgot what they're called, like at the airport
The
where they're flat.
walkways, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, those. So why not have like a different version of that, you know?
yeah, or just like have the
Yeah.
slaves form like a totem pole, and they just like, you know, all the way up to the red line.
Form a totem pole.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
just like they just sit on each other's shoulders, and then it makes it all the way up to like the Holy Land.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds very efficient use of poles, totems.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know how it
climb
is.
it up. It's a test. If you're able to climb it, then you become a celestial dragon.
It's quite truly ascension.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
speaking of ascension,
speaking of ascension, we got York who calls up Garling asking where the food is. And we saw this coming. You know, obviously York is joining the Celestial Dragons at the worst time possible. And Garling says, hey, this is your penance. You know, it was a Vegapunk that kind of started this whole thing. So just make the Mother Flame, and then we can get out of this deadlock, or at least it'll help break our situation. I wonder what they're going to do.
yeah,
I wonder if they're just going to go around nuking islands until, like, the revs are gone, or just, you know, sending message like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But at the same time, it's like, well, Now we're just like, we're gonna end up with like holes everywhere, but it is what it is, right? Gotta teach those dirty rats what for. Garling says, one disaster after another. This all started when Nika resurfaced. Also, it's funny when you look at this framing, because you can tell that the Gorsei do not like Garling that much. I mean, hell, Garling wasn't even in the room when this conversation started. And it's like, man, like, do they make him sit outside? Does Garling not like them either? Like, what's up with this? Like, Garling is the most efficient one. Like, he really does steal the show amongst the Gorsei.
Yeah. I think it's kind of also one of those things where, like, Garling's like, what are you guys even here doing? Like, this decision making, all this stuff. But then on the flip side, we can also see that the Gorsei are at the whim of Imu, and Imu kind of doesn't let them have any say about like what the proper decision is, and so it's this weird balancing act of both sides. Like, we don't know how long these guys have been there. They're probably jaded if they've been here for super long, and like there are better ways to go about certain things, but their choices are not in the scope of Imu. So it's like, with the Lelucia thing, like they were like, oh, we should choose a place that's in the middle of the ocean, or in the middle of a forest or something. And then Imu's like, no, heavily populated right next door. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they coped with like, oh yeah, they have a rebellion. Like, we could justify it that way, blah, blah, blah. And it's just kind of interesting because I would like to see what Garling would have said during that moment. But you would think after hundreds of years of moments like that, you get jaded like the other Gorosei are. And then you have this new guy who comes in, Garling, who's has to run super efficiently on all of his missions. And then he comes here and he's no longer the leader. He no longer gets to choose all on his own. But it's not just that. His choices have zero input to a certain effect, right? Like, whenever Imu's involved, there's zero input. It's whatever Imu says. Or whatever Imu's feeling, because Imu's counter to them is kind of ironic given what Usopp said. Because it's almost like, did you learn this yesterday, or are you a competent leader? Like, I don't know what was happening here, Imu. But Garling does feel pretty cool. Garling feels good. I liked what we're getting from him in this chapter, that's for sure.
Yeah, also, you just reminded me, like, because of the whole Lelucia situation, I remember that a prominent theory was that, Imu was like a little kid.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I never got that. Like, I get the whole thing where it's like, oh, it's a quick decision. A kid just wants what a kid wants, like, just ASAP. But at the same time, I just felt like that situation was more so that Imu didn't care. Like, he does not give a F about the lower world.
It could have been paired with, like, I mean, once you have something shielded from you, hidden for 8 years, you start thinking crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, is it a girl? Is it a hot lady? Is it a mom?
Yeah.
Is it Luffy's mom? And then you start getting
these
what seems like immature decisions, and then you pair it with I want Vivi, and it's like, is he just a gooner? Like, what's happening?
He's just like us.
The balls didn't drop yet, so it's like, I get it. I get why that was a thing. It might sound nice if you pair it up with the right details. For me, like, I always just lean towards the hot chick thing, because like, maybe gooner stuff, but like, it just kind of felt that way up until a certain point. And obviously with this chapter, I'm not going to say that it's completely out the door, but it's pretty out. Like, the door is swung open to, hey, it's not a hot girl anymore. It's a hot dude, so.
Yeah. Which, we've talked about Imu maybe being a girl before, but I think I always erred more towards guy, just because I do not think that Oda would like have a full-blown final battle where Luffy's over here, using a Gatling against a hot chick. I could not imagine that in my entire life. And people are like, oh, but Luffy hit Vivi like 1,000 chapters ago. It's like, I mean, what even to say, man? That's...
And then, cool. But guys, what if Luffy hit Vivi multiple times in the face?
Yeah, what if Luffy hit her multiple times with, like, hellish intent? And by the way, he pretty much kills her by the end. Like, no, that's not happening, man. It's not the same. Like, the only women that Luffy has seriously fought were bigger women. Like, it's Alvida and Big Mom.
Yeah, and like, it's kind of like the Madara Kaguya thing where it's like I feel like a lot of people reference the Madara fight because it's just easier to like I don't know
Yeah.
be there. And then even in the Kaguya one, the whole like sexy jutsu gag thing like that played
And nobody likes
interestingly
the
with
Kaguya fight more than the Madara fight.
yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like I think Oda can do it. I think Oda could have Imu be both, whatever. But I think the main turning point was the concept art. When the concept art came out, I think that's when I at least saw a lot of people switching up the reference. Which, like, when like I say she, it's like I might still be saying she to be honest, but it's kind of one of those hard things when you have like 8 years of saying one thing and then you flip it. So I really do. I'm really curious if we're gonna get context of Emu. Well, I mean, when we get there, we'll get there. But like, we're still seeing it, like the decision making, the maidens. Like now Gunko's a maiden. You know what I mean, right? Like, it's kind of interesting. What's the dynamic now? Does he only have girl maidens? And oh, and then there's another thing. There was the other person who was there and that wasn't Gunko. So I wonder who
Yeah.
that is.
It's
So
just gonna
there's
be
a
like an
whole
entourage of blue-haired girls to replace Lily or something.
yeah. He just been picking up blue. It's gonna be the blue haired. Oh man, is that Oda? Maybe that's just a reflection of Oda, right? Like
I mean,
maybe
it's gonna
it's
be like Whitebeard, right? Whitebeard has a thing for leopard print, so all of his nurses have
yeah,
leopard print, and Miss Bokkins has leopard print.
yeah,
Dude, he's
yeah.
gonna have like a weird thing for Lily. So now all of the girls in his room are literally just blue-haired chicks.
We're gonna find out. God, I forgot her name. Nojiko. Nojiko's gonna get
Oh
kidnapped.
my god.
Yeah. We're gonna find out Okio Kingdom was wiped off the face of the map because that's where all the blue haired girls were. There was just an
Yeah.
island of blue haired women. Buggy's mom got taken. Oh, boom. There we go.
I just thought of I forgot. There's like this one fighter dude. There's like a meme of him fighting. You're not like in tune with internet brain rot. There's this girl called Gorlock the Destroyer. And
Oh, the
you know
one
her?
Ryan Garcia punched that one?
Yes, it's the Ryan Garcia meme. I lost his name. Yeah, because Ryan Garcia,
Yeah.
he has like a thing where like there's this one chick, skinny, fit, good looking, and Ryan Garcia was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna hit you," and she's like, "Yeah, do
Sarah.
it." And he was like,
Sarah
I
Safari.
can't, I can't hit you. So he was like, and then he just like, boom, he just did like the lightest punch known to mankind.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Gorlock the Destroyer came up, and he's like, oh, like he's like landing like
Yeah.
massive hits. That reminds me of like One Piece. It's like, yeah, like the hotter the chick is, like I feel like Oda wouldn't have Luffy land like a bazooka on them. But if it's like Alvida,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, like 1,000 bazookas, send like a Gatling her way. Maybe we send like a lightning bolt. And people might not like that take, but I mean it's like a proven thing in One Piece. I mean, even look at
Yeah.
Zoro when he fights women, right? Monet he didn't hit,
Yeah.
and then Ainz from Film Z, Zoro also used like the back of his blade, and he used like this almost like a Monet attack where he hit her with like a wind slash that didn't cut her. It's like, dude,
Mhm.
that's just One Piece, man. I mean, I'm sorry,
Whiskey
dude. Like,
Peak.
if I mean, Film Red, Uta, big bad villain, summoning Tot Musica, standing on top of Tot Musica. What happens? She doesn't take a single blow the entire movie. That is just
Yeah.
how it is. It's
I
not
think
even me.
Oda. I just posted a short about this actually. Just like the emotions Oda puts in on screen, it's stuff that he feels, and so you know. If you guys want the equal treatment on both sides, like Oda's not gonna be the writer for that. He can't even do that for emotions when it comes to tears. He's like he always draws resistance and like in the picture when he was showing people crying, he had the guy be angry and the girl be sad. And so like when I think about that, like Sanji, for example, he has an entire character that doesn't hit women and has a thing of like when a girl cries, like Sanji is gonna be there and protect them. It's like so if Imu's a girl and then Luffy starts wailing on him, and then I could see it where it's like she starts crying. You're really gonna hit a girl and they're crying, and then Sanji's like, no. Luffy, and Luffy's like, I don't give a shit, and then he just starts wailing, and then Oda, I don't know if Oda could even bring himself to draw something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just a crying girl, even if they're faking it, like, could Oda bring himself to just have
Yeah,
a
and if
scene
there's
that
like a girl
already
fight,
hurts
they
him?
always fight another girl in One Piece.
Yeah,
That's how it is. Like
yeah.
Nami,
Black
Khalifa,
Maria.
Boa, that random granny that turns really young in the 3D2Y thing. Like it
Mhm,
just is what it is.
mhm.
Or, if a guy does fight a hot girl, it's off screen, like the Blackbeard thing, just oh, you cut to it? Ah, look, it's over. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not gonna be like a drawn out battle where Blackbeard's over here landing haymakers, body slamming her. Nah. It is what it is,
You know, I saw, no, not I saw, but I've been thinking about the off-screen thing. Someone said something really funny, and it just had me thinking. There's another series that did it where, like, to the main character, it keeps getting off-screened that one of like one of his allies has a power that requires them to turn into a girl. And so the main MC has no idea that this is happening. And then he sees the girl and he's like, where did this hot chick come from? And like, what if Blackbeard's thing is that he constantly has to be turned, like, it's off screen because he turns into a girl during the fight. And like, we just didn't know that. Like, Ace. So, oh, that was what the comment was saying. It's like the commenter was saying that, like, their theory has always been that Blackbeard always, embarrasses his opponents during their fights. And so that's how he ends up winning. And so when Ace died, Ace said to Luffy, don't or he told it to Blackbeard, don't tell him like how I lost or whatever or something like that. And so the reason why is because Blackbeard turned into, well, this is what the comments are saying. This is what I'm saying now. Blackbeard turning into a girl and Ace couldn't fight the girl or lost to a girl. That would be crazy if that's the case. Like the Davy clan, they all turn into. Oh my God!
It's the
Wait,
Davy
if Davy
Clan's
clan
secret
has,
ability.
dude,
It'd be so
I'm not
goofy.
joking. No. Think about this. Okay, let's say Davy clan is blue hair. Imu fell in love with the Davy Clan person, and they found out that it was a dude. And then, it was like that would be the blue hair transformed, and then Imu just that's why they hate Davy Clan. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. That'd be so insane.
I think we just cooked up a really random theory that if people just tune into the very end, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
What are they doing?"
Hey, if this ends up happening, guys, you guys know where it came from. All right, make sure you
Yeah,
timestamp this
guys,
one.
never forget this theory. Yeah, if you have to remember us for one thing, it's this right here. This and recycle
Yeah.
Kerr.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Trust me.
Somebody sent me a screenshot the other day of them voting for recycle Kerr. I think our brain rot it spread too far, man.
Recycle
I
Kerr
love it.
being on the vote and Bogart isn't is so atrocious.
It's
That's so insane.
hilarious. Well deserved. So we see that the Gorosei continue pleading to Imu, telling him that he should not leave Pangaea Castle, send the Navy admirals instead, which I will admit would be pretty cool. Like if all the admirals came, I feel like that would garner a lot of hype. But of course, not as hype as Imu. Venus says, okay, that won't do. Consider all the other incidents that have arisen. Our hands are tied, implying that the Navy admirals are doing something as we speak. Kind of wonder what they're doing. If we cut over and Akainu's still sitting at his desk, that would just be god awful. The way they're wording it, it's like, okay, they're all being deployed. They're dealing with Cross Guild, maybe, Blackbeard, blah, blah, blah. Warkari says, okay, how about this? We go. And that's when Imu's like, nope, Warkari, this is no coincidence, man. Toss aside all the follies at once. All of this was inevitable. And we get a montage of pretty much all the pivotal turning points in history from Imu's POV. And it's pretty cool. We kind of get Imu's reasoning as to why they didn't really do anything beforehand. Well, you could look at it as reasoning if you want. But essentially, Imu sees this all as a canon event. He's like, yo, like this was all set in motion a long time ago. This isn't a coincidence. This was always going to happen. The Holy Land will be left in your hands. I am going to the surface realm. How do you feel about this whole montage?
I mean, I was confused when it first came out or when I first reacted to it because mainly the Loki stuff, but it's just it could be one of those things between a translational and just understanding thing. Like I'm sure it fits. I think Fiso came into the stream and said that TCB added a little bit too much context to the original conversation that they had when Emu was saying like, "Oh, we couldn't identify the ship," versus Viz. They were a lot more vague, and it opens itself up to like they did know it was Loki, they just didn't know the ship, and it's just like I just responded to Fisa. I was like, that doesn't matter. Like them not knowing the ship, but not being able to put two and two together of like Loki and the giant dragon and Elbaf when they know that it was a captain, a ship of giants swimming
An
around.
ancient giant, mind you.
Yeah, yeah, beating up world government ships, and they're like,
And in the
what
fog.
do we do about this? And yeah, it's just like, what a mystery. And it's like, no, there's that at that point, there's no mystery now. You knew who the captain was, you knew who was on the ship in general because you knew it was giants, and then it's like Nidhogg is a giant dragon that is of colossal, unfathomable size, and you're like, so you were on Elbaf this entire time, were you? And it's like, I'm sure an idiot, an idiot who got lobotomized could put this two and two together. Like, not even a smart person lobotomized. I'm pretty sure a dumb person lobotomized.
We could figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. You
we're
rub
dumb.
two of our brain cells, and you'd get the answer. I'm sure. And that's where it's kind of funny. But other than that, I just like this montage for the one reason of me having my own headcanon of thinking that Emu was there for every moment. It's just like I
Oh
was there.
yeah,
I
like
was
the
there.
Humpty Dumpty thing, where like Humpty Dumpty's in the background of every Puss in Boots like scene. He was just the witness
Yeah.
the entire time, or like death. Yeah, just witnessing
Yeah.
Gold Roger, witnessing the birth of Shirahoshi. He was on Shanks' ship whenever the Devil Fruit got stolen. He was there the
Yeah.
day King Harold died. He saw Loki in the fog. He was at Marineford. Yeah, just all of that one after another.
The main one, right, is like, so like the two of them, right? Like the Neptune is an interesting one because if knowing that Poseidon was born but not doing anything is insanely incredibly important, because then it tells you like, oh, maybe it's Emu can't do anything, and that lends itself to the whole Fishman Island location, where it is, why it's directly below them. But you'd think if an ancient weapon was born in is accessible, just locked in a castle, mind you, then you would think that like, oh, like why couldn't they do anything about that? It's probably because the domains are separate, right? I like that part. But then the devil fruit was stolen was another interesting thing, because was that inevitable? Maybe it wouldn't be if Who's Who wasn't on the entourage. Like, was that on purpose? Like, I know we've talked about that. It's like they couldn't have found anyone better than CP0 or CP9 Who's Who, because he wasn't CP0 even then. So it's like, what was, or he was never CP0. He was CP9, I think, at the time.
Yeah, should have
or
sent
Cypher
an
Pole,
admiral,
period.
dude. What the hell?
Yeah, like the Gorsair saying, or like it's just kind of interesting that Emu was aware of, or not Emu was aware. It would be interesting if Emu was cognizant of the entire situation and allowed it to happen because it was inevitable. And something along with Nika, I have my own theory that it's like, Nika needs to exist for them to achieve their goal too. And so it's not like they can kill or smother Nika, like they also need Nika, but that's like a separate thing. But then when you look at the Herald situation, the Herald one is another one because Harold is the strongest soldier. And then it's like, why did you leave Harold on autopilot? Why didn't you stay in his brain for like a second longer? Why didn't you like watch Shanks show up? Like, there's so many question marks there. And it's like, I guess Emu was just like, no, all the cards needed to fall the way they did. Like, I couldn't put my hand on the scale in all of these situations. If I did, then we would end up in like the original state, right? Where like it's kind of a weird thing where Emu goes like, oh yeah, like Elbaf was never supposed to be a part of like our side. It seems like the prophecy or whatever situation of the past holds true even when in the most favorable conditions, right? And you look at a lot of these situations like, why didn't Emu do more? You know what I mean?
Maybe
Why
it'll
didn't
be
Emu
a
chase after
Chiaki
Loki?
situation from Kagurabachi, where there's like
Yeah.
a whole prophecy, kind of like the Toki prophecy, right? But also Emu knows that it's just gonna happen. Like, yeah, there's no avoiding it. Like, I might as well just save my energy. I'm gonna have this fight 900 years from now. Let's just rock with it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of interesting because Emu ends this with two things, but one of the main things is, will thou keep making Moose suffer? And it's curious because if you expect it, then is it suffering? Like, do you know you have to go through this, or are you surprised by how much the suffering truly is? Like, you accepted these terms and conditions and you just didn't know that it would feel this bad. It's kind of weird on that
I
front.
kind of feel
And
bad for
then,
Emu though, like the way he words it, like, ah, I'm still suffering. Davy Jones, Joy Boy, why?
yeah, and it's interesting because the apparent answer, or not answer, but like I guess the next line that Oda gave us is retrieve Vivi, almost as if retrieving Vivi would quell the suffering in ways. Like, this is the whole montage, we go through it and it's like, these guys are making me suffer, but retrieve Vivi, and that's the like end of that. And then it says it was all set into motion long, long ago. And it's like, what was set in motion? What part of this was set in motion? Like, why did this happen 800 years later and not 500 years later? And what did you have to wait for Vivi? Why not her mom? Her mom looked exactly the same too. Like, why didn't you go after Riri, right? Because what was that? Vivi's mom was named Riri,
Yeah,
right?
Riri.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, you couldn't walk past that one. Come on.
Riri. Come on, man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
right. It's right there.
Yeah, that's why I expected you to be a little bit better. Come on.
Riri? Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Which is funny because Riri is just Lily. It's just not,
Yeah,
we
it's
just
just
like establish it's ours. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you think that at least like Riri's mom is BB or DD or TT? Like, they're not all just Vivi, Riri, Vivi, Lily, Lily, Riri, right?
No,
Or do you
yeah,
think that they
it's all
just,
gonna be like that. Yeah, we're gonna get like
yeah,
the BB, DD, ZZ. It's gonna
or
go
do you
on
think
and
it's
on
like
and
Lily
on.
the 20th? Do you think Vivi's real name is actually Lily and Cobra just fumbled? Or his
Nah.
mom just got bored? That'd be kind of funny.
Imagine it's just like
Yeah.
RNG. They're just like, well, what letter do we do this year?
Just shake up a bottle,
Yeah,
pour
just
out a
shake up a
letter.
bottle. Yeah. It's like the Asian
Yeah.
meme, right? Like, you just toss some pots and pans down a set of stairs and then you end up with your kid's name.
Yeah, yeah, they use a triangle instead of a spoon or fork, and you just
Yeah.
get dee dee dee, just
Like,
a bunch
oh,
of
toss some pots and pans. Oh, well, bing bong. There you go. Next.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Was
like
it
that.
pots and pans or was it spoons and forks? I thought it was spoons. Oh, maybe
I
it
heard pots
depends
and
on what
pans.
Asian.
Yeah, it depends on what
Uh,
Asians like. Vietnamese, you just go outside and hear what the chickens are saying, and like, oh, that's my son's name.
uh,
Yeah, we Asians have a funny way of naming things.
we. You included yourself. That's
I mean,
look
yeah,
at that.
I'm a jungle monkey, brother. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
we go on, and we see that Emu teleports out of there. We cut back over to Elbaf, and this whole thing is pretty funny, dude. Garrett is just playing with Somers' body, reconnecting him, detaching him, and Somers is holding a grudge. I love how Somers only is really holding a grudge against Garrett. Like, Luffy's the one who
Yeah.
put him in this scenario. Loki was the one who did it. Zoro also, like, helped save the kids. But, he just can't help himself. He just has to go after women and children. Like, they called you Garrett. I'll remember you. I'm going to give you the most gruesome death. What about the people who put you here, man? Well, what about the guy who
Yeah.
whooped your ass? He just
Yeah.
can't help but
Which
going
is-
against women. It's so
I mean,
funny.
to be fair, he can't do much against Luffy and Loki. I wish he had the balls, the audacity to say something like that. But at the same time, I appreciate that he's staying within his weight class a little bit. He's like, Gerd, I could beat Gerd. Those guys, it's kind of like the thing where
So you respect it.
some dude's wife comes up to you and she starts beefing, and you just look at the husband and you're like, do we have problems? Because you can't do anything to the wife, but the husband, it's like all those videos where it's like the drunk person just starts
Yeah.
wilding out, and you're like, I can't beat her up, but I can beat you up. So it's like, it's one of those things where, maybe he's picking and choosing his battles for once. He kind of did that.
He's playing it smart.
fast forward a little bit, but I find it interesting that it's not just Sommers. Killingham does the same line of like, I'll remember you, and like the whole remembrance and having a grudge against a singular person. Is that not the same thing with like Emu and Joy Boy? It might be that like all of them or Davy. It feels like actually more than Joy Boy, Davy has the ire that Sommers has for Gerd. Like it might be that if Sommers has children and descendants, it's like, oh, Gerd and her generations of families, we will smite them until they're last. And it's like, I wonder if that's like a gag for like the celestial dragons to have, you know? And it's kind of like like Charlos probably has that for Luffy. But it makes you wonder if Oda's gonna make that like a lineage thing of like holding grudges. I kind of
Yeah.
feel it a little bit already.
Oh yeah, because I mean, it's one thing for Sommers to do this, but Sanji does it too. Which before we get to Sanji, we actually take a look at Saint Somers' steel mechanical heart, thus confirming, it is not blackened via hockey. Some people even said that it looks like a normal heart, but it's like, well, I mean, look at the shading, man. Like it's chrome. Zoro
Yeah,
says, I wonder
yeah.
what would happen if we were to destroy this. Sommers looks very shocked, so we know that that is probably their weakness. That's probably how you kill them for good. Or
Yeah.
it's just something Summers doesn't want to happen, which, I mean, it's a heart, for God's sake. It makes sense. We cut over to Brook and Usopp, and Frankie's making a joke about turning them into cyborgs, and Jinbei's like, yo, like, where's Chopper? We need him quick. And Frankie's funny, man. I thought this was a really good gag. Do you think this will be anything more?
No, but I wish it was. I kind of thought about it. I was like,
Right?
we've never have in fiction is skeleton cyborg is kind of rare. I don't think I can recall like a skeleton cyborg like main
It's a weird
entity.
combo in a good way. It's like
Yeah.
that one Batman thing, right? Oh, Batman Ninja Assassin.
Yeah, yeah,
If you ever watched
exactly.
that movie,
Except
yeah.
he technically already is, but yeah, the it Usopp is an interesting one because like I feel like he could benefit to some tech, but his whole thing is being techless, so obviously it's not going to happen to him. But Brook, it'd be kind of cool if he had like a like I don't know green blood apparatus coursing through his skeleton, you know.
Ooh. Or we give him like adamantium bones.
I was gonna say adamantium bones, but then I was like, what is this? Ein's Ghoul.
They're like, yeah, I can beat Ainz. He's a skeleton. And then they hit him and like, holy shit, his bones are tough. What is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Damn.
So we see Killingham and they're hanging this dude from the tree. And Killingham says, I won't forget your
Crazy.
name, Sanji. You better remember my name. And Sanji's like, well, I forgot, dude. I don't know who you are. Good gag. Good gags across the board.
Maybe this is how you end up with devil fruits. You hang someone who's super motivated, and then they have nothing to do but turn into like he would turn into a fruit, but their will would be like to kill Sanji. Like they hate cooks or something like that. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
the no cook,
interesting.
no cook, no me.
Not just that, but like it would be kind of like a part of the awakening would be like being anti like beating up a cook is a part of the awakening. Like if you were able to do that, then you unlock the awakening of whatever fruit Killingham has. Hey,
Ah,
interesting.
be kind of interesting. It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
So we see Gunko's frozen in a block of ice still. Loki and Luffy make it over to the Owl Library Dash school. And they're like, man, did the school freeze? What the hell happened here? Lilith is right behind him saying, nope, that is actually just the thermal energy. It's all been absorbed. Luffy points over to Gunko saying, hey, that girl in the ice, is she going to be fine? Is she dead? And he's like, nope, it was just a flash freeze, so they won't die, but they can only be thawed out by Ragnar here, which makes sense, going back to the Galley Law and why they felt like it was necessary to maybe have this fruit in order to, save the giants and to lead them. It could be because they were frozen by Ragnar in the past. I feel that's a very prominent theory that's getting some good credition here.
Yeah.
And we got prime meme material because I just love the panel where Loki's like pointing at Ragnar. I think that's amazing. But yeah, any thoughts about this? How you feeling?
Um I like that they clarified the whole flash freeze versus not, because yeah, it does open up that like someone could be frozen from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but as long as they're flash frozen, it's fine. But the stipulation being Ragnar's the only one. I wonder if Ragnar is the only one, or like I'm sure Vegapunk could figure out another way, right? Because
Yeah.
Vegapunk literally was like, "Huh, or Loki goes, they're frozen." It's like not quite. The thermal energy was absorbed, so it's like if you do that in reverse, could you like put energy in, and then does that like is that what Ragnar is able to do? Like mimicking Ragnar or just finding another way. I'm sure that's something a Vegapunk could figure out, but also I wonder if there's other powers. Like I'm sure Kuzan, right?
Yeah,
Kuzan
I bet
and
there's like people who could get around this, but I think generally Ragnar's the only one that can unthaw them or thaw them out, I
yeah,
should say.
yeah,
Unthaw, it's redundant, but yeah, like for example, you flash freeze a Kainu. I'm sure he's getting out of that. You flash
yeah,
freeze Whitebeard. He's probably gonna get out of that. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this
Especially if they're
only
not
works for
dead.
like 95% of the verse.
Yeah, yeah, not the top five.
Yeah, not the top
Um,
five ish.
yeah, I like that Luffy like was just like, "Hey, Loki, I know people want you to be Straw Hats, but I just got to get this one clarification. You didn't kill them, right? Because we kind of don't do that on the Straw Hat
Yeah,
Gang."
we don't kill people, man. I mean, this is a big deal breaker here.
Yeah, yeah. This,
Pretty funny stuff.
our ship doesn't fit the thing, and I know I offered you a spot, but like, hey, this is a contractual thing. My IP kind of rests on this.
We're
So
still
it's
like a teenage shonen series, brother. We can't go around murdering people like this.
yeah, careful, careful. Don't
Careful,
want to be
brother.
canceled. Yeah.
So, we now cut over to Nami. She, interestingly enough, is the first one to notice the rumbling at Aura's castle. A lot of people are wondering if there's going to be more to this, and I do like that idea. I'm always feel like Nami's been a little bit special. I'm not saying that this
Yeah.
necessarily like means that that's what's happening here, but I do wonder if there's gonna be like a bigger Imu Nami plotline, maybe here in Elbaf. Imu being this 900 century year old like fucking demon guy. If Nami does have special lineage, or if she has like some sort of like nobility to her, Imu would know, and we could get some dialogue regarding that later. But yes,
That's
Nami
true.
is looking over, and that is when we get the giant Conquerors hockey smoke screen blast. We get 5 distinctive pillars all around Aura's castle. We see a giant magic circle in the sky, and this is when shit starts going crazy. We hear the zoom zoom, the dorororos, the wahoos, the dum da dum 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 pam pam pam. Like we get noises going crazy here. Par, the meme that we've been peddling for a while actually came true. The drums of oppression, the guitar of oppression, it has arrived, and it is bringing the trees and houses to life. Were you losing your mind when you saw this?
I was. I mean, as soon as you see this, I feel like as absurd and as new and unique and like fresh this is, I feel like most, especially in our communities, especially people who tune into the stream, tune into the podcast, even if you didn't see spoilers, which I imagine if you saw spoilers, you obviously knew what this meant. But without spoilers, if no one knew, or okay, without the title of this chapter as well, you would know who this is. You wouldn't need any other person to be like, yeah, that's Imu entering. There's only one person that can do this. We saw the Gorosei, we saw the Holy Knights. It makes no sense for any other person to do this. And so when I saw that, my dumbass was like, oh, just erase the circles and they'll be fine, was completely wrong, because no, Imu's just gonna make a giant sky circle, which like I should have contemplated or calculated the Saturn introduction, because Saturn's introduction had so much aura. You cannot take that away from Saturn. Saturn shook the island. Saturn had what seemed like a giant circle, lightning shooting down. We were spiraling around it like, what is happening? People on the island reacting, people doing all kinds of stuff. And then the other Gorosei came in, and it was kind of like, oh, it's just like circles, whatever, fine, right? But then Emu comes in, and Emu 10x's, 100x's, if not like 1,000x's, all of their introductions, all of their entrances. And again, it's like this on top of like knowing that it's Emu, on top of like understanding like what's happening, to get the only way I can explain is like a domain expansion of like don't having the inanimate objects undergo like Big Mom's soul fruit power, but with like shadow aura, and it looks like Dami Reversi. Is just like, and then they're dancing. It's like, oh my god, this is like everyone's theories combining together to making what we all like. No, it's this. No, Emu's gonna do that. No, Emu's dancing. And it's like, no, it's everything, all of the stuff, and it feels like this is what we also. This is also another innate reaction was Luffy's gonna get here. Luffy's gonna get to this point
Yep.
where he's making everything laugh. It's just the opposite. Everything you see here, Luffy's gonna get to this point, and he's gonna do everything you see on the opposite way. All the smiling and dancing and laughing, but with like a Gear 5 fire on top of it. I don't know if it's gonna rain down black smoke or rise up. I think like Luffy's version is it's gonna rise up with white smoke into the
Rays
sky.
of light.
Yeah, and it's gonna be insane. And so all the normal reactions, but immediately jumped fast forwarded my brain to the moment when Luffy does this. And when we get this first time from Luffy, it's gonna look like this, it's gonna feel like this, just different. And I don't even know what that feeling is, because I don't know if Oda wants us to feel despair or, oppressed or like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Because I felt excited. I felt as soon as I saw it, like
everybody was excited about this, dude.
Yeah. Like I was in in like other series and saying JJK, but I think JJK does it best when like the villain shows up. Even in the manga, like you felt like your heart stop a little bit, and it's like like tightening. This one's different. Like Emu showing up, and it's like, oh my god, I'm bouncing to Emu's rhythm. It's like, this is insane. I can't wait to see what Emu's about to pull out. So this was in a league of its own, and this wasn't even all of it. This was just the start of it. So it's a good time for sure.
Super good time, man. And the fact that it's bringing things to life like Big Mom's Soul no Mi, I think is huge. It makes sense considering that Emu's the devil. Like, yeah, he's going to have his own theme song. Yeah, the houses are going to come to life. They're all getting demonified. Do you think that these houses and trees will actually be threats here on Elbaf? Like, do you think the Giants are going to be preoccupied fighting these guys? Like, oh my god, like, I can't beat my house. Jonathan, why'd you get your porch done? Why'd you cut your grass? I told you we should chop down that tree.
So. I think so, mainly because how did we get introduced to this concept? It was Big Mom's like soul forest, and I like to think of Pound as like a pseudo giant, and he was stuck in the forest and he couldn't get out and he was lost, and they kind of just kept shifting their environment to get people lost inside that forest, and it played off as like a fairy tale type thing. But they had a hierarchy, there was power levels, and they, what's this Strom? I forget the name of the tree. But
Braum.
Something like that. And
King Bomb. There we go.
King Bomb. There we go. Yeah, he was pretty strong. He had it been not like big Nami didn't have Big Mom's Viva card. Oh. Emu having a Viva card would be a very interesting thing. I imagine that's what the curse mark is, right? Like if you're here and you have the abyss mark, then you're fine. But if you don't, then you kind of get treated as if you're in that soul fruit forest. But it's also like the soul fruit forest on crack cocaine, like when Big Mom awakened on Onigashima with all those demonic spirits. Like I could imagine that being if Kid couldn't like magnetize all the steel beams and Law didn't have the spatial powers, that would have been an insane threat against them. Steel beams just flying around breaking you, and these like who's to say Emu can't control like the atom tree? You know what I mean? What if the atom tree just starts swinging around? That'd be kind of nuts. Like
Oh, that'd be
I forget
devastating.
what. Yeah, like the branches just start collapsing in on each other, start smacking atom wood. Emu can wield
Oh,
atom wood.
oh. It's funny because
My God,
you know,
guys.
this is a good theory for like Greenville back in the day. Like, oh, Greenville's gonna merge with the Atom Tree, but now we just got
Yeah,
Emu doing
yeah.
it.
Now we just got Emu doing it. And I do think that, like, for example, a specific thing is the Giants, for reasonable reasons, they decided, hey, I don't want to have the kids look at their parents be slaughtered, so put the kids inside the house. Now the house is alive and within Emu's domain because we see the entire village is within the domain, and so now the people have to fight the house to get the kids back, and that is a huge thing because remember the kids are actually one of the objectives. And so it could be that Emu still wants to take the kids. And maybe Emu is powerful enough to take the kids without, like, can override the Abyss mark. If it's Emu, you kind of, it's like they could do anything, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't care to put the stipulations that the Holy Knights had, like, oh, we need a ship. Like, Emu can make a ship, okay? Like, Emu can fly. Emu can do whatever they want. Like, I don't know if it makes sense to put the same stipulations where Sommer's like, we need that boat. Oh no, I destroyed it. And it's like Emu's like, returny reversey, and then just brings the boat back to life. Like, and now it's demonic. And just like Big Mom can have souls and devil fruit powers on the ocean, maybe Emu can do that. Maybe like Big Mom can't go for a swim, fine, but her homies can. Her homies were out there swimming on the seas. And so it's like maybe Emu can't go swimming in the ocean. We don't know yet, but maybe their reversies can, right? If that's what we're gonna call them. I imagine we got to come up with a name for these demonic tree shadow thingies and houses. I think reversies could be a good name, but
it's kind of
we'll
cute.
see what Oda gives us. Yeah, I think reversies is better than Dommies. It could be Dommies because Emu's the mommies, but like that would only work if Emu was a mommy. Now he's a daddy, so it's kind of like doesn't really work the same, you know?
Yeah, yeah, dude, I love it, man. I hope that these guys are powerful. I love how like the guys, the Giants, they see this, they're like, yo, is this another Devil Fruit ability? What the hell is going on here? And it makes sense that that's
Yeah.
like, you know, the first thing they go to because it's like, yeah, they just dealt with Killingham, who brought like nightmares to life. And then they had like the whole demons with Domio Reversi. And now they're fighting demon houses, which is so funny when you think about it because their arch nemesis, Big Mom, has an ability like this. So it's one of those things that's like, okay, I know Big Mom is gone, but you're going to have to fight her powers anyways. Like, you still
Yeah.
have to deal with the ghost of Big Mom, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we go on and we see that a giant lightning conquerors hockey bolt hits the castle. Emu spawns in. They are coughing up blood. And I guess this does somewhat confirm all those theories that everybody had that Emu possibly can't leave the Holy Land. They can't leave for that long for one reason or another. It could be because they're, you know, landlocked over there. Maybe they need the butterflies, the flower room. Could be that, you know, there's like a spell binding circle that keeps them over there. It could even be that they need the Sunlight Tree Eve. How do you feel about this? What do you think?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I wonder what color the blood is. It'd be crazy if it was green, right? But as far as like what the stipulation is as to why this is happening, it could just simply be the spell. It could be the entrance. It could be that Emu has is kind of rusty. If Emu hasn't done this in a long time, it's kind of like Saturn. I remember the Cope when Saturn let Bonnie stab him, and it's like, oh, he hasn't descended like this in years, and so it's like he just wants to feel a little bit, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one did never landed on me well, but this time this is different. I can't really imagine historically Emu doing this often, given the Gorosei's reaction, right? Like when in history would this have been a requirement? We saw God Valley. God Valley was like an insane scenario. The strongest people in the world converged. And in a lot of ways, like, did Imu need to be there? I don't know, because we saw that rocks could be Dami reversied, but like obviously it seems like Garling can't Dami reverse rocks, but Imu had to be there. I don't know if like we have yet to see a Gorosei Dami reverse, but we know that someone Dami reversed the Davy clan and Garling was leading them, and he was not a Gorosei member then. So it'd be odd to think that the Gorosei couldn't do it, even though we haven't seen it. So one way or the other, getting back to the whole emu part, it's for me, I like the idea that it's water related. I know one of my viewers and super chat was saying like maybe it has to deal with being so close to the ocean. I like that idea. I like it for a lot of reasons. Like maybe it's not just like water, it's just like the ocean itself. Like Davy Jones has like an anti curse, like, or not anti, like a curse against Emu. Being close to that realm ends up making Emu suffer, which is why the altitude is important, right? I would wonder if this would occur if Emu showed up at Skypiea, for example. If Emu showed up at Skypiea, in my head canon, I don't think that they would have this much damage, which kind of like, okay, then it's not that they're rusty, it's just the location. But there's a lot of reasons why it might not be that. And so I do like the idea that the sunlight tree is like proximity to it is something at play here. Because then it also justifies what the Gorosei was doing, right? But the reason why the sunlight tree Eve versus the ocean part, kind of I'm balancing it in my head. I'm not making a full decision here. It's Fishman Island because Fishman Island gets Sunlight Tree Eve. It's directly underneath it, and it gets the light from it. So wouldn't that mean that Emu could still go to Fishman Island? Well, in that version, yes. But maybe there's something specific in the Holy Land related to Sunlight Tree Eve that means that they have to be there rather than at the roots. That could make sense. But in the version where Emu is weak to proximity to water, that means that Fishman Island is off limits, which would justify the decision making that the ancestors, the ancient people, had when they moved Fishman Island to that exact spot. It had the Sunlight Tree Eve, but that's a ballsy place to be because it's right underneath Emu. If you just had a war against Emu and you lost and you needed to escape, why go right underneath them if it was a dangerous spot? And the thing is, they had to go there for the sunlight, but maybe they felt completely safe at the bottom of the ocean because Emu can't go to the bottom of the ocean. And maybe it's because of, like, the reason why I say anti-curse is because Davy Jones would be blessing the people at the bottom of the ocean because Davy Jones is kind of like this, I don't know, not saint, but like has a domain over the ocean and all of the lore of it. So I want to lean towards its proximity to ocean, but then the problem there, and given that their ability, we also see it. It's like I just don't want Sea Stone to be like so OP against Emu. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason why I would lean towards the Sunlight Tree Eve because then the Sea Stone wouldn't be OP, and you don't just have Usopp like Sea Stone handcuffs, go, and then they land it, and then it's good. It works. Like I don't know if I want that. If it would feel the same way as like Loki, where we're like, oh yeah, he's this big dragon thing, but what happens if you just put Sea Stone cuffs on him? Then he's done, right? You touch Sea Stone, you're out. Emu probably shouldn't have that same weakness, and it doesn't seem like that. I don't know if they have a devil fruit, but this part of it is I don't know if it's devil fruit related. I think this is just emu related. So I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed, and I don't even know if the next chapters are going to tell us. It's going to be something that we're going to need to figure out over the next few chapters. Even maybe the next 3 chapters is something that we start recognizing, because with the Gorosei, we still don't know how to beat them, and we're way past Egghead. I remember it being a thing like, oh yeah, wait until the Gorosei touch the water, and then remember we were waiting panel for panel, waiting for, was it Warkery jumped off? No, Saturn, and then he landed on the boat. Warkery also was like charging, but then we just saw him stay on the island, and we're like, God damn it, we need to see them on the water. But the way Saturn jumped on the boat, it was like, bro, he had no fear. Is he gonna be fine? Like,
Yeah.
we don't know, and with Emu, I feel like we're gonna be in the same category as that. So but still very cool nonetheless. Very, very cool to see. I didn't think this took anything away from Emu either. Seeing this recoil, it added
Oh
to the
yeah, I don't think
character.
anybody holds it against Emu at all. I mean, if anything, I think people really enjoy it just because it explains
Yeah.
again why Emu hasn't been super present throughout the entire story. They just can't be.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you know, this is where we're getting like pure headcanon because a lot of this with Emu we don't know anything about. Like there's just so many questions and there's not really any concrete answers. But
Yeah.
yeah, for me, I kind of lean towards Sunlight Tree Eve. It could even be like the transformation or magic, like you said. Maybe kind of like how Gear Fifth Luffy has recoil damage. Maybe that's the same thing for Emu. You know, maybe the more they use magic, the more they give up, or more lifespan that they do give up or expend. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff, brother. And the last thing we get here in this chapter, well, last thing, it is a massive, but we see that Emu does transform. They go on top of the roof, killing him and Summers. I love that killing him and Summers have like a dedicated panel. They're like, great one. He actually came, master. They look
Hmm.
so happy, scared, and shocked all at the same time. Summers, I don't know. Like, I can't tell if he's happy or scared or just like awestruck, but yes, Emu is here. We see the transformation. We have their ability name. It just says Devil's Fruit, which is pretty crazy. Does he have a Devil no Mi? Does he have like just the original Devil Fruit? That's a hot topic of debate, but I think everybody more or less is on the same boat. Like, I feel like when people argue about the Devil Fruit thing, it's kind of just like a nuanced point. It's like, okay, at the end of the day, we all agree he is a devil. Like, okay, that's the main
Yeah.
thing. But now we also just have like the design. I mean, we don't know his skin color. We don't know the tattoo color per se. The eye got another ring. You know, obviously he has the devil horns. He's got the crazy Hagoromo with eyes on them. He has a weird like sword, staff, scepter thing that's awakened, has its own black flame cloud. Crazy tail. Kind of like a Elbaf fit going on. He has the mark of the abyss on his cape. And it's like, dude, like there's so much to just digest from this panel. And this is everything we've been waiting
Yeah.
for, right? I mean, we wanted the WG stocks to go up for one reason or another, just to have a good, competent villain. And now that we see that Emu is here and that the houses are coming to life, the idea that Emu buffs the God Knights, it's not that crazy anymore. Like it is, plausible at this point. And I don't even know where to start. So why don't you just take it away, Par?
Oh yeah, the main thing that and I saw Brago's reaction too. I think that like as far as we get the visuals are sick. You went over a lot of them. Lunarian is what's the devil fruit, what's not the devil fruit, which part of this is Emu. Like there's a bunch of questions there. But the main thing of like the one of the first 20 ability, that's where I'm like, I want to see the Viz translations, which we don't have right now. I want to know what that means, how that's said, all the versions. I want to get the raws for it. On top of that, the Devil's Fruit part, the Akuma part, is written in katakana, which for me is significant. Won't get too much into that part, but I think like this lends itself to a lot of speculation because it seems like it's clear to me that it's like this is an innate thing, like they have like the ability of devil fruits, not that they ate a devil fruit, kind of in the similar vein where like the Gorosei we never got the bubble saying that like pig yokai form, like not model yokai, like we didn't get yokai no meat, we didn't get devil fruits for them. For the holy knights we did. And so like I wonder if Emu's ability allows the Holy Knights to get devil fruits from Emu. Is Emu spawning the devil fruits? Is Emu the source of all the devil fruits? Or was Emu a part of the creation of devil fruits and they just had the original? Or is this an innate ability? And like, for example, if they give the ability to one of their just like, subordinates, is it like the Gorosei? Is Oda not gonna put the panel there? And it's like, oh, these yokai abilities, they're from Emu, which explains why Saturn went the way he did. It was like an immediate delete. It's because whatever level they got to, they got Emu's power, and on top of that, getting Emu's power means that Emu has full control over you. And I question that a lot because one of the first thoughts I had when I looked at the ability or you know hypothesized about what we were getting was I was like, okay, in a world where Emu has the ability to get a bunch of devil fruits and activate all like a bunch of them all at once, and they're using the best forms and combining them like an amalgamation, like a Gorgon or Gagon, whatever that Oda loves to do with like
Or
the Straw
Gorlock.
Hats. Yeah, or okay, sure. And or the Vegapunks. Is Vegapunks what's their did we get a name for them? I forget when they got combined. Because the Vegapunks got
No, we call them the Megapunk, but that's just us.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So is it like that but with devil fruits? And are they all awakened or is one awakened? Because they have the Hagoromo like scarf type thing. And not to like complete Naruto reference, but this feels like a lot of anime MCs combined into one. But the main one is like the Rinnegan, the Sharingan like type of vibes to this. Where is it that each eye is a devil fruit that's being like awakened or activated, and maybe they can have, let's say that there's 16 eyes on this. I think visibly there's 11, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So visibly there's 11, but maybe the full scarf has 16 eyes. That means that Emu can activate 16 devil fruits at the same time. Is that what we're gonna get? And then that the staff, the pole arm, seems like it has an eye just before the blade starts. So like, is that the way it is? And if that's the way it is, then is Gunko's eye being like Emu's eye a way to know that Gunko's power comes from Emu and it's not just a straight up devil fruit? Like maybe it's that what's his face Sommers has a straight up devil fruit, but Gunko has the fruit from Emu. And so that's why it's like this whole like title card is like it's saying a lot, but it's also like not saying a lot because it's like, wait, what does one of the first 20 abilities mean? And I like what you said too on stream, which by the way, we talked a lot about the visuals, a lot about the stuff like on stream.
Huh,
But
interesting.
and
Real
one,
quick. Sorry to cut you off, but
yeah.
one of the first 20, I'm assuming that's just one of the first 20 founders of the world.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
oh,
one of the first 20 abilities, which, I've seen people saying that, and I was wondering
yeah,
where
yeah,
people got
yeah,
that from. And that's just
yeah.
TCB. Yeah. It's I think the
It's
way
just the
they divvy that
positioning.
up, it seems weird. Yeah. He is one of the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
20
Okay,
kings and queens that founded the world government. And that's why it says world government creator. It's not one of the
okay.
first 20 abilities.
Well, I mean, in terms of what I was saying, it doesn't bear, but like as far as saying it, yeah. And the reason why the next part with what you were gonna say, or what you said on stream is, you asked me, do I think the other 20 have abilities or are this cracked out? And like, so that's where the one of the first 20 abilities, I was like, wait, what does that mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like yeah, like I feel like after thinking about it, after talking about it, like it does make sense that they are cracked out. I think while I was gone on stream, you were saying that it is a trope that like we get introduced to the weakest, or like the one who survives is the weakest and the strongest ones go. There's a world where Nika or Joy Boy was like somehow a part of these, right? So like maybe if I was saying earlier Joy Boy has this ability in reverse, maybe there's 20 emotions. And so like maybe Oda has like 20 different emotions, kind of like Miss Golden Week with like the colors, like each color has a different emotion or something that it brings out of the person. Maybe that's what it is too. Like maybe like they have a domain and each person's domain is able to create this vibe around them, whether it's silly, whether it's laughing, whether it's scary, whether it's edgy and cool, whether it's stoic like Zoro, or whether it's like candy like Big Mom. Like maybe there's something like that. Because we do have to recognize that like awakenings like that, they're not Emu exclusive. Doflamingo showed us the first time, right? The awakenings where everything was string. Just take one of these devil fruits and expand it out like this, and then boom, you have like so many different versions that you can get. And maybe the way it works is that you morph some of them together and you get something similar. Like Doflamingo and Katakuri, the way their fruits awakened is kind of similar. It wasn't that different. It's just the way they used it was different. So maybe there's an awake, like one of the 20 had a fruit that like, or had an ability that just takes over all of that. Maybe there's a Paramecia, maybe there's a Logia, maybe there's a fire, maybe there's a lightning. You know, it's all pretty interesting when you put it out together with this just the dialogue bubble. Everything I just said was just off this one narrator card, and I partially misunderstood it too. But even with the real understanding, it's like it still sits there. I know with the other narrator card, King of the World, Saint Nerona Imu, a lot of people are like, why doesn't it say God? Why doesn't it say God Nerona Imu? Why does it say Saint? I don't really personally know. There's just so much happening that like I had my stream yesterday, and usually we put a day in before the recording, but obviously schedules are our schedules. So, but I don't even think with our normal schedule, I would have enough time to completely digest what I'm seeing on screen here. So, yeah, I mean that's just off of the title. That's like the first big thing. But what about with you, Sai? What was like the first thing that was it just the visuals or
Oh, visuals. I'm a visual guy. Like I
yeah.
needed Emu to look cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted Emu to look amazing, and that's pretty much what we got here in this chapter, man. I'm all for it. I wanted a good-looking villain that I could flex with, just like look at my series, look at One Piece, man. Look at what we got over here. And we got it. I've seen people saying that this is just like a clone of like Madara, maybe a clone of like Kaguya, etc., etc. Like, oh, but he borrows designs from this one anime. It's like, yeah, it's not. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's fair, but at the same time, it looks cool. Like, I don't care, man. I thought those other villains look cool too. So, even if this is like, generic anime villain final design 5.0, like that's good. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it's funny that people say that because me, yeah, obviously I got Naruto vibes, but that's mainly like Itachi. The Madara stuff is from the visuals, but when I looked at the art of this, what it was going for, it just like this is like OG anime. Like I got Inuyasha, and I didn't even watch Inuyasha, but the white hair flowing the way it is, it reminded me of Inuyasha. But also like the ukiyo art, like the ink block, like I was kind of imagining that when I saw this. Yeah, it has the anime like, contouring and stylization and the line art of like an anime, but I don't know what about this. Like maybe it's the clouds, maybe it's the way the fire's flowing. It felt like traditional Japanese art, which is probably why a lot of people are like, oh, this is this anime reference. This is this. At the end of the day, they're all Japanese artists that are inspired by Japanese traditions in a lot of ways, and they sometimes come out and just straight up say it, or sometimes they make odes to that, right? And so like it's one of those things that the one gripe I had was we got two visuals and one was too far and one was too close. I
Dude,
wanted a
yes.
middle.
That's what I was saying too. I was like, okay, this looks great. I wish we just had like one more like full body shot. Like, what is this? Like, it looks nice, but goddamn, like we have to wait till next week to see what he actually looks like. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
teasing us,
And
man.
the context of it is also funny because I had a lot of people on the stream come in and they obviously read the chapter before me, but read the chapter with me. And even by the time I ended, they weren't fully aware of the size of Emu. And that was something that I was made aware by some of the chatters where it's like, yo, this is a giant castle. This is the biggest castle we've seen in
Yeah,
One Piece. And they're standing on top, and Luffy would be like this height of a brick, if not smaller. And Emu's out there just like I can't pixel scale too much, but like a fifth of the height. Like and they're crouched, and the pole arm is a half of the roof. So Emu is like Loki sized, if not like close,
yeah. I put them
which is
around like white
huge.
beardish size, which is still massive again.
Yeah, yeah, it's like 20 feet or something, or 15 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane. I think he's 20 feet. But Yeah. Just there's like I feel like there's gonna be constantly things like another one. It's like, oh my god, they're wearing Elbaf drip. Like that was another huge thing that off rip, not memes aside, that Elbaf drip did throw me off. I'm like, is that always a thing, or is that just like an emu thing, or just an emu today thing, or is that gonna be like forever? You know?
I think that's just an emu thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it might just be an emu thing.
I do, like how I don't know what the right word is. How uh conditioned I was for like the Holy Knights having that like European suit with like the double-breasted jackets or the capes. And then I was like, thought Emu would have like a knight kind of vibe, and now Emu doesn't, and I'm kind of thrown back. But when you zoom in, you do kind of see like it looks like there are buttons. It looks like there are buttons like on his arm. There are dots on the elbow, like on the forearm, on the backside. And then on the chest, it also does look like there are buttons above the belt. But I don't know what those are. But it could be that they're shirtless,
I think
and
they're
it could be that
shirtless.
they're the reason, because it looks like there's three dots, and I'm like, okay, is that a nipple? Like, are those abs? Like, what are those dots
Dude,
there?
it
I see
is
one. Actually, no, I
so
see
hard to
one, two,
tell.
three, four, and this is
Again,
also
it's
TCB's
it's like you
version.
said, like we needed a better shot of emu. Like one is too far, one is too close. We have no idea what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Um, but the hair, the vibe, the style, it's something. You know what this is? It's like this. It took all the sentiment behind those edgy Gear 5 edits. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be angry Luffy, all black,
Gear
full body
death.
hockey. and
I
then,
still want gear
and
death, man. It can happen. It can happen. We saw Nika. Nika
yeah,
was like all this blacked out figure. Gear death, man. It's around the corner. Just know it. Count your days.
I think I feel like yes, that I agree with that. I feel like there is going to be um other iterations of Luffy. Nightmare Luffy is one, right? And on that same boat, Emu. I feel like it's not. This isn't. Yes, this is a dope design, and this might be the most common design, but it might not be the final form. If Oda loves Dragon Ball, and he Frieza saga, Frieza, it could be that this is not the final form. This is not the only form, and there are other configurations. I mean, I do always laugh at the whole Super Trunks one where he's like jacked, and then Vegeta's like, oh, he went with that version of Super Saiyan. Yikes! And like, or Goku does that too to a certain extent, and he's like, oh, it's not lean enough. You need to optimize your body a little bit. Like maybe, Oda did kind of do that with Lucci, with his hybrid. He had that really thick version, and then he had the skinny
Yeah.
version. So Oda loves Dragon Ball, and the villains famously always had like, multiple versions, even when they kind of didn't. But like, if Oda fell in love with Frieza, I could see there being like a final form. This isn't even my final form, and then you just get like a
Oh.
gigantic version.
Yeah, and then I mean, Frieza's last form was Black Frieza. We could literally have Black Nika.
Yeah. I mean, for Nika and Emu, I don't think that, especially given that I think that the powers that Nika have, or that Luffy has, are the base level of Nika, and we're seeing what end stage Nika probably wields, and this is what Emu shows up as, and they have the ability that they say they have, and we saw them transforming. I feel like both designs are ripe for other versions of it. Like I could see Luffy making fun of Emu too, be like, haha, you think that this looks cool? And then turns into a silly version of like Emu, and then Emu gets like embarrassed or whatever. Because like that's another thing. We saw how malleable Emu's dialogue was. Emu went from a dominant hand, or a dominant ruler never sullies their own hand, to nah, we got to throw our arrogance, we got to throw our pride aside, and we must handle things on our own. We got to stop underestimating these lower dwellers and just put them down, put them in their place, right? So maybe Emu gets influenced, you know? Maybe we see a day where Emu's like, "Nah, I'm done with this. I'm done with this higher road shit. You know, time to lay down the law." And I'm not talking about Trafalgar, you know?
Yeah, I love it, dude. I think it is amazing. All we need to see
Yeah.
next chapter is Emu going out and fighting well, which I have no, doubt in my mind that Oda's gonna do that well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know if it's next chapter, but definitely we are, you know, we are set up for greatness. There's no way. Like I would faint. I think I would faint if like we fumbled next chapter somehow. I think like in the anime, like we already have Imu's voice, right? So it's like we can't fumble the voice by now. But in the manga, it's like I pray they don't say some stupid shit, you know? They gotta say what they're about. They gotta stand on business and they got to lay down the law. And if we're getting them handling the situation, they better do that, you know. And I'll save the full predictions for the prediction video, but you know, I there might be a death, you know. I think there could be a death, and if there was any time for Oda to break the mold, it's in the chapter where he has Luffy going like, "Wait, that person didn't die, right?" And it's like, so what if they did die, Luffy? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Wasn't that person kidnapping kids and doing some heinous shit to Elbaf? Didn't Sanji and Usopp just talk about that? Didn't your best friends just get clobbered almost near death? It's like, so what if that person died, Luffy? Is there anything wrong with that? And it's like, I know that it's like the shonen stuff and Luffy stuff, but what happens when Emu just comes out and shows that they have no qualms with death? You know, what happens then, Luffy? Are you gonna hold down your bearings? Are you gonna Batman this shit? You know, it's like even people got upset with Batman when it comes to Joker. So like I imagine people are gonna be upset with Luffy when it comes to Emu. And you know, Loki's that character. Loki's the in-between. Loki's the guy who's like, that's a little, you know what I mean? If Oda inserted one more bubble, it's like, so what if she died? Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I flash froze her. That's Ragnar's cute ass squirrel. But if it were up to me, she wouldn't be here. You know, I'm certain that's what Loki would say. Loki'd be like, yeah, bro, she's 10 feet underneath the ground, dead. Why not? Why wouldn't we? Why would we keep him?
Yeah,
You
one of the
know?
God Knights, man. Like, get rid of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as much as I like the God Knights, like, yeah,
Curious.
like if you're trying to min max, I mean, you kill them. You literally put them down in the dirt, stab the heart without any remorse. Just go for it.
Go for it.
Always make sure to secure the victory. It's like, winning a team fight, they're not getting Baron. It's like, why? Like, it's right there, guys. Come on.
Oh God. Yeah, yeah. I hate that. Not getting Baron, bro.
Yeah. So as
PTSD.
far as the devil fruit goes, do you think it's just like the OG devil fruit, or do you think it's like just a devil fruit?
I don't even know if it's a devil fruit. I'm kind of in the boat of like the Gorosei, where the Gorosei didn't have the box saying like Hito Hito or Pig Pig or whatever. So like maybe it's something else, and I don't think that that's too weird. But I wouldn't mind it if they just had the OG devil fruit. I think the OG devil fruit that like has the like if they, for example, were trying to recreate Emu's ability and that's what created Bonnie, that would make sense to me. And so if Bonnie's is the like primordial one, like the Vegapunk level version of kind of like smiles to devil fruits, right? Smile fruits to devil fruits. It's Bonnie's is the smile version of what Emu has. Boom. You know what I mean? I think that would be what would make a lot of sense. Devil fruits were supposed to be the ability that the conduit that allows people to achieve or reach the max potential of whatever they dreamed of. That's what Vegapunk told us. And Bonnie's fruit mirrored that, allowing people to reach a potential, herself included, to a potential that she dreamed of, which was Nika. So why were they trying to make Bonnie's fruit? And it could be that they weren't trying to make Bonnie's fruit. They were trying to make Emu's ability and put it in a fruit. And if you put two and two together, I'm saying that Bonnie might be able to do what Emu's doing, bro. Like that's crazy, but like, hey,
That is true.
if
Distorted
Bonnie could,
future, a future where I'm a devil. Like, there you go.
boom, a rule, king of the world. You know, like because like when you think about that, it's like king of the world could be what Emu is, and when you look at what Luffy never wants to be king of the world, doesn't want to be king of anything really. He just wants to be pirate king, but that means the most free, so it wouldn't look like this, right? And Bonnie got that. Bonnie got Nika, so why wouldn't it be that Bonnie could make this? And it might just be hard because Bonnie doesn't dream of this, right? But like, how do you dream of this? Dreaming for Luffy's was easy. It was like, oh, I just want to be the most free. Off rip, she got gear 3, right? So it's like getting to that dream was fairly easy. But we saw what Emu got. Emu suffered a lot for this and is still suffering. So maybe in order you have to dream of suffering. Like I don't know what it means to be king of the world, but if you know one is the drums of liberation, maybe it's the drums of suffering. You know, like I genuinely don't know what word we're gonna put there, but maybe we do get that word next chapter. Maybe we do get it next.
Yeah, I think come next chapter, we're going to get a lot of crazy reveals. The Emu dialogue can go hard. It looks like they're done like playing around, taking a backseat role. I think we will get like full blown, Joy Boy this, War God that, Nidhogg this, Nolan Descendant over there, Forest God over here. Like, Emu could genuinely just give us everything. Will they do it? I'm not too sure. It would be like that stereotypical villain thing, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna tell you everything, like my entire plan. But I mean, if Emu's confident, like, hey, you're not gonna live anyways, why not? That again is like another stereotypical villain trope, so I'd be down for it, brother. I also like the eye that he has on his hand. Kind of like the eye of Horus, eye of Ra. And I think this kind of goes back to like when Emu stopped Brook while in Gunko's body, because he just threw his hand out and did this, and then Brook stopped. I wonder if that's like part of it. Like, yeah, it's the hand magic. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of like wacky ass magic come next chapter.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying like this reminded them of Yu-Gi-Oh. So
yeah, he's like the dark magician, dude. Like I'm expecting him to use that scepter and just like
yeah,
exactly.
Good. That would be an awesome ode to the Yu-Gi-Oh creator, right? Untimely passing.
Untimely passing, brother.
Yeah. This it does. I feel like in a lot of ways, right, with Nika, Oda did a lot of homage to famous cartoons and tunes. Like he said, Tom and Jerry. Wouldn't it make sense if Oda did an homage to a lot of anime shonen stuff? Like Oda kind of specifically said he didn't want to do shonen with Nika, but maybe it's because he wanted to do shonen with Emu and make Emu the like, edgy kind of cool thing for little boys and girls around the world. Like that's what he always says. And he said that he knew that with Nika he wouldn't be catering to that. And it's probably because he was catering it with Emu and having the villain be. I like to think, and I agree with you, the mentality of a series is only as cool as the villain. If the villain isn't cool, if the opposition isn't cool, it's not that cool. So putting all the weight of shonen on the villain here, you got someone like you to really jump at it and love it. I think that Oda definitely won the battle that I think that he was facing. Could he make the character that he wanted to? My question is just, when did he make this character? How long ago? Did he just make it one day, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe even 8 years ago when Emu was introduced and just shelved it? Or is this even before that? Was this before we got the silhouette? Like when was this created and when was this shelved? And when did Oda unlock it? When did the editor see this? I kept on saying this throughout my entire stream. I needed a post-game interview. I needed an interview of Oda post
we need
this.
The
and
Oda
we got that
notebook.
For Nika.
Like after One Piece is over, we need the Oda notebook that's like, okay, this is when I came up with this idea. Originally, I was going to do this, but I switched it over. I think that would go so hard.
Probably Road to Laughtale is what we got from Post Wano. We might get Road to the Empty Throne.
Oh, that'd be fun. Road to the
Yeah,
Empty
yeah,
Throne. Probably won't get
yeah.
it for
Get
a long
some.
time, but it'd be nice.
I mean, hey, Elbaf could be ending quicker than we thought. We don't necessarily know. It depends on next chapter. I think next chapter decides, if anything. Like next chapter.
Like how
Now, I'm not
fast?
saying Oda will say it to us, but I think we'll get our bearings straight of like, okay, like 5 chapters,
Yeah.
or less. Um, it depends. But it seemed like Oda had a Jump Festa note saying that like it's gonna end in a flashy way, and then things get super intense. So, if it that means that things end quickly, then maybe right after Elbaf we get a Road to Empty Throne, or whatever
Road
that
to
sounds
Empty
like in
Throne.
Japanese. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd pick that shit up, dude, right away.
yeah.
So, do
Maybe
you
you can pick it
think,
up while you're in Japan.
oh, maybe, do you think that the other 20 kings and queens had abilities on the same level as Emu? Like some of them, not all of them? Or is it just Emu alone at the top?
I think they had abilities. I think they did. I think um I know at the beginning I was kind of meh, like I didn't really have a good answer. But I think back to my first videos where I was thinking that, like, hey, there's probably more hockey than what we saw at the time. One of the things predicting was like mind rope, the being like telepathic kind of air level to hockey, and I described it literally what Shanks did to Green Bull. I described it exactly like that, and that was probably like a year prior, and I've been hinging on that. And I was saying that there's so many power systems in One Piece, Oda just never fleshed them out, and I tried to web them together through hockey, through devil fruits, and I created categories, and I had a lot of different ideas and theories back then. And I like to think that maybe that's what the Kings had. Like a Kings had like the top tier of all of those pathways, right? Like think about Miss Golden Week. What is she doing? She's painting with colors. Like what if someone had like a color power? Like just the ability of like colors in general. And she doesn't have a devil fruit. Miss Golden Week has no devil fruit. What does Django have? Django has like some hypnosis thing that he got from a mushroom that grew off of his chin. Like what is that? It might be that there's some guy who's just so cracked out on hockey that he's on this level. Emu is able to get there through devil fruits. Maybe they were like the scientists. Maybe they were the Usopp. Like who knows? Who knows? To be honest, but I like the Usopp route because the Usopp's words rang in Emu's ears so much so that they kind of regurgitated them. So it's kind of like maybe they are, not as well established as the other, but maybe that's why the others kind of fell through because they couldn't survive the timeline. They weren't as strong willed in some ways, in terms of survival. But yeah, I like to think that the other ones, which is weird for like Lily, but you said it like somehow she was able to divide up the poneglyphs, these giant, massive rocks that are like sometimes people are like, well, how did this person carry this glyph? And it's like, yo, we saw Jinbei carry solo this glyph to Big Mom, so like it's not that big of a deal. But to do all of them and spread them all out and put them all in these like prime locations, premium spots within these kingdoms, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. So, you know, I am expecting that the other 20 kings are just as cracked, if
Yeah.
not more.
I think it'd be really dope if we
Yeah.
ever meet them. Of course, I bet we'll meet them in the Void Century. But pretty much we could have like a whole thing where it's like, oh, ability, big eater, which, is Bonnie's thing, right? The glutton. Like ability,
Yeah.
domesticated colors. Just like a bunch of like random shit like that. And it's not like all devil
Yeah.
fruits, it's just actual abilities. And Oda can do that because that is the Void Century we're talking about, right? We know nothing about like what that world was like. And Emu's ability was just devil fruit. Maybe his was the most powerful, and that's why he survived for so long. But yeah, I do think that the other guys might have had like something on this level. Be so dope.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be so dope. I think like it's weird to say because Emu isn't the main character, and that I think that's the only reason why Gear 5 was more iconic, more of a big deal. Luffy's the main character. Luffy's been the main character for the entire series. We've been waiting, we've been growing, we've been following him. We haven't been following Imu. Imu's been a silhouette. But the gravity of this reveal brings it so close to the Gear 5. It almost surmounts it because, like, we're seeing more. There's a lot more weight to it. There's magic. It's the threat. But like, if Emu were the main character, this would shake the world way more than Gear 5 did. Like, because with Gear 5, I think that like it was also a thing that people were like, oh, don't spoil this, don't do that. Like, all this other stuff. Emu's a weird one because I said it to you. Japan's gonna next volume. Emu's on the cover. Like, I would put
And
money
we
on
might
that.
actually get the Emu theme song a lot quicker than when the anime got it too, because there's also the whole thing where with every volume release, there's a trailer. I would not be
Mm.
shocked if Emu's song is the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And so, with all of those things, as variables here, I would not be surprised if Emu coats the world even more than Gear 5, mainly for the reason that we're all proud. I think that everyone, as a One Piece reader and One Piece fan following this, like there was this same sentiment with the Gorosei, where it's like, oh my god, these are our final villains, they're so cool. And then we kind of got them and we are like,
Yeah, they didn't really
let's not
deliver.
go there.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Pretend they don't
I
exist.
genuinely think, like, I didn't tell my wife this yet, but my hair's long enough. I think I go into the conventions cosplaying Emu. I have no problem with doing that. This is what, like 6 months from now, or a few months from now. And so, like, I show up, no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know who I am unless you're a manga reader.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
Emu has
know.
brown skin just like you.
Yeah, well, from at the currently, that's
Yeah,
what we think,
currently,
right?
currently. It could be red or, it could be gray or blue periwinkle, but right here it looks pretty brown.
Yeah, yeah, and I was the person that the week after Shaka was revealed, in the manga, I went to Anime NYC, or not anime, was it? No, it was Comic Con, and I dressed up as full. I wore it to this stream. This stream I started out as I have the Shaka jacket I was wearing at the beginning of the stream, and so Emu easily brown skin, got the long hair, just make it white. That's the only hard part because I want to donate my hair and I don't know how to. I think there's ways to get the white in my hair without a wig. I don't know if I want to do a wig, so let's see what happens. Oh, and then what's funny is that just a week ago I had the eye, technically on my hand. I had a pokeball, but it was like when I stretched it out it looked like an eye. I literally had that too. So
You're right there, man. I'm excited. Like when that volume comes out,
yeah.
we're gonna see the Emu color officially drop. We're gonna see the theme song. Like, while the anime probably won't be here for a very long time, the
Yeah.
volume trailer is gonna have our backs, guys. It really will.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Shorter video this week, which is a little bit new, but it's also because we are kind of stretched for time. But it be like that. I'm assuming next chapter we'll have
Yeah.
a lot to talk about, considering Emu's now here in his full glory. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about all of this down below, and we will catch you guys later. Make sure to check out Par. He is running an active account yet again. He is finally back, so make sure to sub to him for all of his Par Vision theories. Peace out,
Help me out on
guys.
the algorithm, guys. Peace.